of the African National Congress. So it would be wonderful if everybody could be seated. Start the program. Thank you very much. Everyone may be seated. Thank you so much, my guests, for this evening. The formal program is about to begin. We have leadership in our midst, and whilst we are on the podium, we are hoping that we will exercise the same discipline as we had those introductions come through. Comrades, ladies and gentlemen, once again, please be seated. And I'd like us to just have a little bit of silence. We've got a very short program for this evening. In a formal manner, good evening, Dumelang, Sanbonani, Molo, Assalamu alaikum, Goeienaand, ladies and gentlemen, comrades, business and industry and leadership of the African National Congress. We are so humbled and honored to host you this evening in Mangaung. And I've got with me this evening, ladies and gentlemen, may I kindly ask you to be seated? I know that we've just got a little bit of a hiccup at the accreditation, but we should be seated. As I introduce my co-host for this evening, a beautiful, and I call her a young lady, we are running a joint female program this evening. Allow me to introduce you to Madam Sonia de Bruin, a comrade, a woman in business. She's been in investment banking and the financial services for over 25 years. She currently serves on listed and unlisted boards. And she's also the daughter of our comrade and stalwart, Comrade Sophie de Bruin. Please give her a round of applause.
Khadija, thank you so much for that warm welcome. It's awesome to be part of a women-led event this evening, very much hosted by our dear beloved Treasurer General, the first woman Treasurer General of our beloved movement in its 110-year history. And keeping with that theme of strong women in finance, Khadija, it's an honor to be able to work with a comrade who knows the financial services industry from your own operating experience, having been a commercial banker for 15 years before heading up several departments in the province. You also sit on several boards in an ex officio capacity, and are currently the MSc for Finance in this province. So strong women in finance, presence and leadership at this event this evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Comrade Sonia. And tonight's presidential gala dinner is hosted by the African National Congress under the umbrella of the Progressive Business Forum. and its hosts through you, if you would allow us to acknowledge our newly elected top 7 national officials of the African National Congress. Please, a round of applause. And once again, allow us to pay due respect and honor to our elected leadership, our President, His Excellency, Comrade Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa, our Deputy President, Comrade Paul Mashatile, our Chairperson of the African National Congress, Comrade Gwede Mantashe, our first Deputy Secretary General, Comrade Nomvula Mukonyane, our second Deputy Secretary General, Comrade Marapena Ramahopa, and our Treasurer General of the African National Congress, Comrade Dr. Gwen Ramahopa. So as we've just concluded as the ANC its National Congress, I can say by Thursday, Your Excellency, the tickets for this gala dinner were sold out. Midnight Thursday, it was sold out. Tonight, leadership, business and industry has an opportunity to meet the African National Congress's new leadership and the new party's top 7. We understand and reiterate that through true testimony of the African National Congress, women elected in decision-making positions is realized. This year we have 3 women, both well-respected and experienced leaders, who are also elected into the top 7 national leadership. Please give them a round of applause.
Malibongwe.
Igama lamakhosi kasi.
So, Khadija, as you say, it's a leadership of firsts. The first Treasurer General of the African National Congress ever in its glorious history to be a female. And we know that women run the purse strings very, very well. We wish her all the luck. And as you say, also the first time we have 2 Deputy Secretary General positions, both of which are occupied by women. And in actual fact, we have the highest representation of women in the top operating structure of our movement. So this celebration of first in 111 years history is absolutely fantastic. But let's take it a step further. Within the NEC, we have the most youthful NEC that we've ever had. We also have the biggest representation of women and the biggest geographic representation that we've also had across the ages. And so within this 111 years history, I think really we are opening a new chapter. Again, partnership with business. You mentioned that the event has been oversubscribed. We want to welcome business this evening. We thank you for wishing to associate your brands with the African National Congress. We also want to welcome all of our international guests here this evening. We would like to also acknowledge the presence of all of our leagues of our movement. They are here this evening. And of course, all of our alliance partners. And we're very, very optimistic about kicking off this new chapter, this period of renewal in such a vein with this new leadership that has been recently elected. And so with bearing that in mind, we ask everybody to please stand up for our national anthem, after which we will also sing the African Union anthem. Thank you.
Oh rise together to defend our liberty and unity. All sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky, let us make Africa a tree of life. Let us all unite and sing together to uphold the bonds that frame our destiny. Let us dedicate ourselves to fight together for lasting peace and justice on earth. All sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky, let us make Africa the tree of life. Let us all unite and toil together to give the best we have to Africa, the cradle of mankind, the fount of culture, our pride and hope at break of dawn. All sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky, let us make Africa the tree of life.
Amandla. Matla. This program, as we are seated, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, leadership of the NEC, leadership of provinces, leadership of regions, business and industry, we have a very short program this evening. And to kick it off, I am sure that the convener of the African National Congress in the Free State will be explaining and articulating how ecstatic we are that South Africa has reigned in the Free State and Mangaung. So without any ado, may I call upon the Free State Provincial Convener, Comrade Mxolisi Dukwana, to provide us with welcome and opening remarks. Kia leboa. Please give him a round of applause. Amandla! As soon as he's concluded or during the speech, the starters will be served. So I'd love for you to only bring out the starters as soon as he's concluded. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Ke a le dumedisa bohle motseng wa Mangaung sebakeng se bitswang ka hore ke Mvelo ke nke monyetla ona ho dumedisa mopresidente wa rona le di officials tsohle tsa mokgatlo wa rona le baetapele ba teng. And let me take this opportunity again. In our midst, we have dignitaries, we have leaders from different countries. We have our premier, who also is the deputy convener of the ANC. President Utatu Umantashe has actually given this IPC the marching orders that we do not have any more life support beyond the 15th of February. But we understand as we are all here, this is the venue that the provincial leadership identified for its endeavor to take the organization, especially its members, back to the years when members of the ANC and members of the society were driven by the desire to do good, were driven by an ideal, a purpose much bigger than any of them. It was a time when we were saying it is more important for all of us to stand together and serve humanity in the best way we can. And this celebration, as we will be undertaking this journey, going back to our roots, we have come back home. Ra le amohela hae, ke le hae la ANC, mbeleko ya ANC ilapha. The umbilical cord of the ANC is here. We welcome you here. And we know deep down in our hearts that as you go back, you will go back with much vigor, with the determination and the courage to do good and to serve South Africa in the best possible way. Siyabulela President, siyanibulela nonke, lamueleile kaofela relaxang. And one thing that I would ask, homodumo moholo ka hara ntlo ena, nka thaba fela hore re ke re fane ka monyetla re mamelane re ke kaofela rona re nke monyetla tsatsi lena fela nako ena fela re ke re ithute ho hlomphana re tlobetse bo mamelana ho go fele modumo re tla tswela pele re a leboha. Let's begin this activity. TG siyabulela ngomsebenzi wakho mandla. Enkosi.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Comrade Dukwana. As we're enjoying our starters, it will be a pleasure and an honor for us to listen to the music from Musicon College. They are gracing us with an opera performance. But we did think it's also probably a good time to acknowledge the Bochabela String Quartet. As you were arriving and seating yourselves in the room, they were on the stage. It was the lovely string quartet from Bochabela that was entertaining us. And then as you approached the building and were coming into the venue this evening, we had some marimba instrumentalists. So hope you're going to enjoy some of the light entertainment this evening whilst you enjoy your starters. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
does he care if the world got troubles? What does he care if the light ain't free? Don't look up and don't look down. You don't just spend the water and mouth. Bow your knees and bow your head and pull that rope until you dead. Let me go wet on Mississippi. Let me go wet on the white man horse. Show me the stream from the river Jordan, as the old stream on a long
Thank you very much, sound technician. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to give you 30 seconds to take your seats. We have come to the program where we are going to invite His Excellency President to give us a keynote address. So if I could kindly request. Thank you, Comrade Zulu. Thank you. All right. The only people who should be murmuring is our ushers. Everyone else should be seated. Allow me to acknowledge once again the first Deputy Secretary General, Nomvula Mokanyane. She just arrived. Thank you so much. Please give her a round of applause. Comrades, ladies and gentlemen, we want to tell you a little story about tonight, so it would be nice if you could just listen. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I can say proudly on behalf of the TG and the African National Congress that we met our fundraising targets over this weekend. Congratulations. Please give them a round of applause. Woo! It absolutely shows confidence that business and industry, this is about you, guests. We are saying that reaching our financial fundraising target shows the confidence that business and industry has in the elected leadership of the African National Congress.
Yes.
Yes.
Halala, halala.
Halala. And I can state, because we were working on the list, that majority of business who is in the room does not do work with government. Please give yourselves a round of applause. And it just shows that this government and this elected African National Congress-led government.
I think if people could be seated, it'll help us with the noise in the room.
Comrades, I think I'm going to have an iron fist now. Can I please have complete silence? The President will be speaking shortly. May I request the gentleman over there to kindly take your seats? Yes, please. The national chairperson is creating this chaos, it seems. Comrade Chair. Comrade Chair. Comrade Chair Mantashe. Tonight we are the chairpersons.
Siyabonga, siyabonga. Okay. I think we need to go over some of those key stacks. Because they're pretty awesome.
Chairperson. Did you? All right. Now that we're having the chair taking his seat, please give him a round of applause. Now can I have everybody's attention, please? May I? Because, and ushers, thank you, convener. Ushers, can I please just have you pause at, ushers? May I have you pause for a minute? There's just some certain highlights we'd like to bring before we invite the TG and the Honorable President to the stage.
Okay, so I think now we push on, yeah?
You can tell them to keep quiet. All right. Ushers, So we met our fundraising targets. That's what we're reiterating. It shows that business and industry has got confidence in the African National Congress. Yes, please, thank you, Ntatitele. Majority of businesses who assisted with fundraising does not do business with government.
It shows the level of confidence in the environment, right?
Yes, it shows the level of confidence in this environment, and it is this ANC-led government that builds a conducive environment for business and industry to thrive.
Yeah. And, you know, despite the economic challenges, which we can't escape, we're part of the global economy and also our own domestic challenges, the brand equity of the African National Congress, despite those challenges, has held. We've held the line, and we are taking things forward in this progressive fashion with some of the data and statistics that Khadija has told us. And so much so in terms of the eagerness to engage, in particular around supporting the new TG in her role and function. I consider myself here this evening, ladies and gentlemen, for example, a deployee from Women in Business. Okay, that was sort of part of the makeup of this evening, to show the level of confidence and eagerness that women in business have to support the African National Congress and to support our new TG. So much so that in the first week of February of 2023, there is going to be a Women in Business welcoming function for Dr. Gwen Ramaphosa, welcoming her to this new role from 50 women in business, most of them independent entrepreneurs, most of them running their own businesses. Some of them will be the big names that you know of. Many of them also CEOs in the country and sitting on major boards. And this is going to kick off a program of action for 2023 with the Women in Business function in early February. Following that, still in the first quarter, we are expecting that there will be roundtable dinners and road shows in the provinces, mainly coordinated by Progressive Business Forum, with Dr. Ramaphosa to meet business people in the provinces. And by the way, this evening here, we have businesses from about 6 provinces throughout the country who've made the time and trouble to come to this gala dinner and also give their pledges and commitment. The next part of the program of action is going to be the post-Lekgotla briefing that the TG will have with business. Following that, there will be a post-State of the Nation address briefing as well that the TG will have with business. And then obviously, very important on our calendar is the budget, and there will be a post-budget briefing that the TG will have, rounding off some of those events. Now, we are also anticipating to have an engagement with all of the business formations which involve Black professionals, involving the Black Securities and Professionals organizations, ABSIP, ABASA and OCA, who represent African Chartered Accountants, the BMF, of course, the Black Management Forum, and the BBC, Black Business Council. So these formations, in terms of also engaging with Black professionals, and for them to carry through that influence in the corporations where they sit, is very, very important. And this demonstrates the eagerness and excitement and endorsement that business has for this new leadership of the ANC, and in particular, our top 7 leadership. So well done on galvanizing and rebuilding the brand equity and the association for our organization.
All right, so the Iron Fist ladies taking action. Can I have all the entrance doors closed, please? And all ushers standing against the wall whilst we have the TG and the President coming to address us. Allow me to repeat, all entrance doors to be closed, please. Entrance doors closed kindly. Thank you. On this side as well. Ushers, no movement. Entrance doors closed, please. ANC volunteers, can I have that entrance door closed, please?
Okay, at least that one is closing.
No entry when the TG and the president is on this podium. Ushers, no movement. I want to stop all operations right now. All movement needs to stop. Everybody take your seats. Ushers will go to their stations. There will be time for networking shortly. Seth, if you can help me, all doors closed, please. Ushers need to conclude all service at this point. Can we kindly close those doors? Those who are outside will miss the president's speech. Waiters, service should be suspended. Doors closed. We've only got 2 items left for this program, and I think we could all be respectful of that. Thank you very much. All right. As some of us have heard Comrade Sonia's view of the PBF, the host, who is hosting this presidential gala dinner under the leadership of His Excellency, our President, is the Treasurer General of the ANC, Comrade Ramaphosa. She was a medical doctor by training. A doctor, she began her political career in the provincial government of Gauteng. She was a member of the Provincial Executive Council. She was also the first female mayor of Tshwane. Waiters, ushers, doors, all service suspended. Utter silence. Thank you.
Thank you, Boss Lady. Thank you. Thank you for your cooperation, everyone.
Thank you.
It's done now.
She was the first female mayor of Tshwane from 2006 until 2010, and then she was elevated to a national office. She was elected to the party's National Executive Committee for the first time in 2017. And now, she is the first female Treasurer General of the African National Congress, Comrade Gwen Ramaphosa. And while she ascends to this podium, please give her a round of applause. Our TG will be introducing our President, and our President will be providing remarks and the keynote address. Thank you. Over to you, Comrade TG.
Thank you very much, Ms. Khadija and Ms. DeBrain, our program directors for tonight, and the lovely, the beautiful. I think let's give them a round of applause. His Excellency, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, the President of South Africa and the second term President of the African National Congress, Ubuyile. Deputy President of the ANC, Comrade Paul Mashatile, who's my predecessor. The National Chairperson, Comrade Gwede Mandashe, Ubuyile, rech. That's the real Ubuyile. Our Secretary General, Comrade Figile Mbalula, Rats Matats. First DSG, Comrade Nomvula Mokonyane. Our second DSG, Comrade Marupeng Ramukhupa. Members of the NEC, brand new, newly elected NEC members. They've just had one special NEC yesterday, so the work is already cut out before them. Our co-hosts, the convener of the interim provincial committee, Comrade Mxolisi Dukwana, who's also one of our MECs here, his deputy, Mayor Mantombela, who's also the Premier of the Free State. The woman works hard and smart. Thank you very much, Mama. She's also the fundraiser, and all accolades goes to her and her team for really standing by us and ensuring that we deliver the two fundraisers that we have exceptionally delivered for the African National Congress. I also want to acknowledge the coordinator, Ndate Paseka Nompondo, the deputy coordinator, Pulediso Dihelele, all PC members of Free State and all other 8 provinces, the RECs, BECs, and members of the ANC who also contributed to this fundraising. Actually, President, yesterday I had members of my own branch who were also playing golf, so they came all the way to come and support the ANC fundraisers. I want to also acknowledge the leadership and members of the ANC Veterans League, led by Ntate Snukizi Galala. He also came to play golf yesterday. He may be retired, but he's not yet tired. The ANC Women's League, the ANC Youth League, the Umkhonto Wesizwe Liberation War Veterans, our Revolutionary Alliance partners, the South African Communist Party, COSATU, SANCO. It looks like SANCO is really getting revived from provinces. National will soon be also up and running. Abahlali. The Progressive Youth Alliance, SASCO, COSAS, and YCL as well. These are your hosts. We are together your hosts. We also have invited cabinet ministers, premiers, MECs, executive mayors and councillors, MPs and MPLs. We have our special guest excellencies, ambassadors and high commissioners, and representatives from our fraternal organizations in Africa and globally. And indeed, today is the night for our most special guests, corporate South Africa, entrepreneurs, professionals, even civil society that have gone all out to make this event a success, as well as academia. I think let's give them a big round of applause. Comrades and friends, I'm not here to give the message for tonight. This is the podium and the night for the president with you. I'm just here to thank you for making this platform possible, and also to thank those that would have wanted to be with us. I think either Imvelo must have a bigger venue, otherwise we will go elsewhere because the demand seems to be very high by today's standards. I also stand here before you celebrating the 111th anniversary of our glorious movement, the African National Congress. We appreciate that there were times when the brand had been dented, and I think as the president will share with you, we are on a path, an irreversible path of renewal, working together with and working for South Africa to build a better South Africa and a better world. Indeed, we also are here to ask you to be with us to strengthen the management of democracy. I've been heard, and correctly so, and quoted to say that the relationship with you cannot be and should not be transactional. It must be a relationship of compacting, a relationship of building social cohesion, a relationship of patriotism to fund those that are at the forefront of managing our democracy, at the forefront of coordinating us as a nation to indeed protect and defend the gains and advance our development trajectory. So I actually thought that this event won't be successful when I was quoted around having uttered those words. And I'm greatly inspired that South African corporate and business agrees with me. Your mere presence here endorses the fact that this is our democracy. No one will come from outside to build it. We must build it ourselves together. And this is part of it. We have just taken a resolution that, which was sponsored by the finance team, that we are asking South Africa to fund its democracy fully by funding political parties, especially those that are in parliament. That will help us to really know that we can hold the political parties accountable and that there will not be undue negative influence which undermines or which or can undermine the integrity and the interest of us as a collective, South Africa. We have benchmarked with other advanced economies and advanced democracies, and that is the route to go. This is one of the gestures that humbles us, that many South Africans believe that it is okay to fund political parties to do what they know best, to give inspiration and to coordinate our efforts of building patriotism and advancing our country. That's all I have for you today. My job is cut out. I don't as yet have in my diary all the program that Ms. De Bruyn has outlined, but what can I do? I must just follow suit. So the women of South Africa in corporate are saying we can't celebrate forever. After tomorrow's celebration, my job is cut out. So I'm on the road. I'll be visiting you. I'll be also helping you to ensure that we create a positive investor-friendly environment, and that we build brand South Africa together for its own citizens in terms of inclusive growth and shared prosperity, but also for our joint and collective benefit. Having said so, I'll have more hours with you. I know that when you deal with business, you must be brief, to the point, and I will certainly practice to do so. And it is my pleasure and privilege to call to the podium our one and only, His Excellency, the President of the African National Congress and the President of the Republic of South Africa, none other but President Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa, to address us. Thank you.
Amandla. Amandla. Viva ANC, viva. Viva COSATU, viva. Viva SACP, viva. Tsuha Sanko, tsuha. Amandla. Program directors, my two sisters, Khadija and Sonia. One of the things that the national chairperson does very well when he chairs meetings, when there seems to be commotion and all that, he pauses and tells us all to pause until those that he identifies who are causing commotion have finished. He says, let's wait until they finish, and then we will continue with our meeting, because that helps to expose them. So learn from the national chairperson. Deputy President Paul Mashatile, the national officials, as they have already been introduced, members of the National Executive Committee, distinguished guests in all your iterations, both local as well as from a number of other countries, who have honored us with your presence tonight. A special word of thank you to all of you for joining us for this Patriotic Business Forum dinner, as hosted by our newly minted and elected Treasurer General, who has, in her very first dinner, sold out all the tables, with many people clamoring to be part of this. We welcome you to this gala dinner, which is on the eve of the 111th anniversary of the formation of our movement, the African National Congress. It is significant that we have returned here to Mangaung, the birthplace of the African National Congress, to celebrate this occasion. When we turned 100 years, we also came here to Mangaung. The people who gathered here 111 years ago to found this great movement were from all walks of life. There were traditional leaders from various parts of Southern Africa, not only South Africa, but Southern Africa. There were religious leaders, there were intellectuals, there were professionals, and there were many ordinary South Africans who also graced the occasion for the formation of the ANC. In remembrance of the leaders of our movement and those members who would have been present, we have started a tradition of pilgrimages. Pilgrimages to the gravesites and to the homes of our departed leaders in areas where we hold our January 8th celebrations. Being here in Mangaung has given us a great opportunity to visit the homes and gravesites of our departed leaders. The officials and a number of members of the National Executive Committee, the provincial leadership as well, and the regional leaders of our movement here in the Free State in Mangaung had the honor, and I would add a privilege, of going to pay our tributes to three of some of the outstanding former leaders of our glorious movement. This province can truly claim and they can really boast of being the home of legends as well, in that it is not only the birthplace of the African National Congress, but was the home of three outstanding leaders. We were able to visit the gravesite and the home of Thomas Mtobi Mapikela, who was born on the 12th of November, 1869, and whose family moved to Waihoek. And tomorrow we will go to the actual site and church where the ANC was formed in Waihoek. He became a carpenter and a builder by profession, and later became active in politics, the politics of the African National Congress. He was one of the founders of the ANC and became an NEC member, and then he became the Speaker of the ANC for 28 years, from 1912 until 1940. And due to his multilingualism, this put him in a better position to continue as Speaker of the organization. In 1913, he was part of the delegation which traveled to Britain protesting against the 1913 Land Act, which afforded black people only 8% of the land in South Africa. In 1919, Ntate Mapikela was involved in the drafting of the South African National Congress Constitution, which was a policy statement of the organization for many years. He became a very successful business person in the construction industry, but he later felt the full effect of oppression and exploitation of the colonial government then, which was clearly arraigned against black people making any progress in participating in the economy of their own country. In 1903, Mapikela set up his own independent building construction enterprise. He was engaged in making furniture of many descriptions for schools, for churches around Mangaung. When we visited his home, we could see the wondrous carpentry work that he had created himself with his own hands. His business was involved in the erection of timber roof trusses. Timber roof trusses are quite complicated to put together, but he was involved in that and the installation of manufacturing of specialized timber items. Now, what I found significant was a speech that he made on the 25th of November in 1940, where he said, "I am the man who made all the furniture for Grey College," and Grey College is a leading school here in the Free State. And he said, the man who also made all the furniture at the University of the Orange Free State. And some Europeans asked why a native should be allowed to take the bread out of the mouth of their children. He continues, "Not that I do not understand my trade, but a member of parliament, the then obviously colonial parliament, said that he would not allow a native to do the work which should be done by Europeans." This is what he said in 1940. The restrictions imposed on him to conduct his business were to be applied against black people throughout the country and are the colonial and apartheid legacy that the African National Congress is having to deal with today. We also had the honor of visiting the home and the graveside of Reverend Zacchaeus Richard Mahabane in Seisoville in Kroonstad. He was elected the president of the African National Congress from 1924 to 1927. While in Kimberley, he became the secretary of the African Christian Ministers Association of the Diamond Fields. In 1937, he was elected president of the ANC for his second term. When his term as the ANC president ended in 1940, he became the official chaplain of the ANC and was elected as a lifelong honorary president of the ANC in 1943. So National Chairperson, continue doing your work. You may become chosen as the lifelong chairperson of the ANC one day. Our pilgrimage also took us to the graveside and the home of Dr. James Moroka, who was elected as the president of the ANC by the support of the ANC Youth League and its leaders Walter Sisulu and Nelson Mandela in December of 1949. During Dr. Moroka's presidency, the ANC started to implement more militant and radical tactics in fighting the country's apartheid regime. Now, the honor of embarking on this pilgrimage, has given us, those who participated in the pilgrimage, the very rare opportunity to be on the hallowed ground of greatness, of great experience, which many of us found both inspirational and uplifting. The ANC is not only the oldest liberation movement on the African continent and possibly in the world, but is also a movement with a great history that has a galaxy of leaders who sacrificed greatly, but also led our people very wisely. These leaders and those who were there when the ANC was established were a diverse group representing many cultures, languages, yet they were united by a common belief in the equal right of all South Africans to dignity, respect, and freedom. In their honor, let's give them a round of applause and thank them for the excellent work. Now, throughout its history, its leadership and membership, in its programs and policies, the ANC has reflected this great diversity of people pursuing a common vision. And we learn from this history that the achievement of a united, non-racial, non-sexist, democratic and prosperous South Africa requires the involvement of all sections of our society. That is why the presence of so many of us here tonight and many representing business is so important to the mission of the African National Congress, as the Treasurer General was saying. The Patriotic Business Forum brings together business people from companies, both large and small, who share our commitment to the fundamental transformation of our economy and society. We do believe that this is the bond that binds us all together, and your presence here confirms precisely that. the members and supporters of the PBF recognize that all South Africans, wherever they are, and whatever they do, need to be part of finding solutions and to be part of addressing the challenges that we face and to be part of building our country. And this is what we thank you for. And we welcome you and applaud your commitment and contribution to this task. The fact that this gala dinner has been oversold and oversubscribed, for us proves indeed that you are willing, prepared to be part of this whole journey of rebuilding our country and indeed of rebuilding and revitalizing the African National Congress. So I truly thank you for being here. Thank you very much indeed. We are celebrating this anniversary just days after the ANC concluded its 55th National Conference. And because we were unable to complete the work of conference when we met in Nasrec in December earlier this week, we convened a hybrid forum to consider the reports from commissions and to adopt resolutions. The 55th National Conference was an important moment in the life of our movement. Delegates reaffirmed the determination of the ANC members that they represented to the conference to renew and to rebuild the ANC. And to reiterate what the TG said, this process of renewal of the African National Congress and its unity, it's not only irreversible, it's irrevocable. It will not be stopped. The delegates who were present at the conference resolved as one to put behind us the harmful organizational practices and tendencies that have contributed to the decline of the ANC in recent years. They stood firm to renew and to unite our organization. And in fact, there is no longer any room left for those who are opposed to the renewal process. No room at all. And there is no longer room left at all for those who want to sow seeds of divisions in the African National Congress. The delegates to the conference made a resounding call for unity based on the values and the principles of our movement. They said that this unity should be forged through the process of renewal and through a program of action that places the needs and the interests of South Africans above everything else and above anybody else's interests. And the resolution that we adopted at the conference are focused both on the immediate challenges that our country faces and the fundamental transformation of social and economic relations that are necessary to build a better life for all South Africans. The resolutions that we took, which we will also be outlining in the statement that the National Executive Committee crafted last night, which will be released tomorrow, sets out clear actions that need to be taken as a matter of urgency to resolve a number of challenges that face our country. Load shedding in the shortest possible time, and to ensure that the country's energy security is well positioned into the future. Those resolutions place inclusive economic growth and employment creation as central amongst the tasks that we must undertake. And this requires that we intensify the investment drive. And for us, it is so important to have so many of you who are in business, who drive the investment process, be it in small, medium enterprises, be it in large corporations, and also those who may not be here, but who may either read about our resolutions tomorrow and going forward. What we are focused on is to ensure that we create that environment so that your businesses, small or big, are able to invest, and we want to intensify the investment drive that we launched in 2018 as well. We are working to reduce red tape and to improve the competitiveness of our economy through far-reaching reforms in a number of sectors of our economy. The conference also resolved that infrastructure investment needs to be increased substantially and that the plans need to be translated into the construction of roads, the closing of the potholes in our country, the building of bridges, the enhancement of our power lines, the building of dams, water treatment plants, schools, houses, student accommodation, and other social and economic infrastructure. And this infrastructure investment is needed to stimulate economic activity, to expand the capacity of our economy, and to provide the services that South Africans need. There was an appreciation amongst delegates that growth and jobs should really be driven by the small, medium enterprises, by cooperatives, and the informal businesses, but that government should also play its own role through the various state-owned enterprises to contribute in this process of creating jobs. They called on government and the private sector to expand the financial and other support to small, medium enterprises and to ensure that this support does indeed have the greatest impact. And a special emphasis and focus will be on the empowerment of women-owned and youth-owned businesses, because these sections of our society have had limited access to opportunities. This we shall do and will focus on. And there is similarly a need to support the growth of township and rural economies, bringing commerce, trade, and finance to the places where most of our people live. Each time the national chairperson goes to Gala, where he was born, and I try to talk to him on the telephone, our calls often get cut off. And he says, President, whilst I may be in the metropolitan city of Gala, I don't have good connectivity. We now must focus on ensuring that as we seek to build rural economies, we ensure that there is good and better connectivity. And in this regard, my heart always goes out to him, because as you know, with his very deep, rough voice, he talks quite a lot and wants to talk to me on the telephone, but we often get cut off. And sometimes I'm happy that we get cut off. An important part of rural development is the acceleration and redistribution of land and the provision of support to ensure that the land is put to good use and it is productive. The 55th National Conference reaffirmed our policy on land reform. The resolutions that we have taken in the past are reaffirmed, and we will also be focusing on new measures that are going to ensure that we do move ahead with our land reform process. The growth of an inclusive economy is a vital part in our fight against poverty, unemployment, and inequality. Delegates agreed that the state has a responsibility to provide support to vulnerable South Africans in a manner that is affordable and sustainable. Other resolutions to tackle poverty focus on scaling up the provision of housing and delivery of service, ensuring that our municipalities provide quality, affordable services to all residents. We will be focusing on the performance of our municipalities. Many of our municipalities are dysfunctional and are performing below par, including the municipality of this very metro city where we are. Our people are clear that we've got to reposition various municipalities, including Mangaung itself, and we shall do so. Delegates also focus on an area that sometimes we don't pay close attention to, which is early childhood development and the promotion of technical and vocational education to ensure that the country has skills that are needed to grow and develop our economy, and felt that we need to embark on a skills revolution process that will ensure that we do indeed have the skills that our economy needs. The conference also resolved to prioritize safety and security of the people of our country. These are a number of resolutions that were taken, but we also focus on international policy and the posture that South Africa needs to have, particularly as we now have a multipolar world where we need to play a key role as South Africa, and we will be playing that role this year as we start being the chair of BRICS, and when we will convene a BRICS summit later this year in the third part of the year and bring the BRICS countries and partners together, as well as a number of outreach countries, particularly on our own continent and beyond, and where South Africa, including all of us, and I'd like to say the business community will need to play a key role in the BRICS Business Forum, would like to see South African business showcasing its capability, showcasing its pride as South Africa's business as we interact with the 4 BRICS countries and the rest of other countries. So, comrades and friends, this is our year as South Africa on the international stage. This is the year when we must showcase what our country has to offer in leadership, in capability, in cooperation, working together, and the social compacting that the TG was talking about. I'm very pleased to hear about the various plans that have been announced by my 2 sisters, Khadija and Sonia, about how the business community, be it part of the Patriotic Business Forum and beyond, are going to be interfacing with the African National Congress and our government in a variety of iterations where we will be exchanging views and discussing quite a number of things. Now, these are some of the outcomes of our conference. Many more will be outlined in the National Executive Committee's statement to be released tomorrow. But they'll also be part of the program of action for 2023 that will be announced, yes, in that statement. Over the course of the next few weeks, we will engage with various constituencies, formations, and I'm glad to hear what the women in business are planning to do. We will do so as we interact with you on the resolutions that we adopted in our conference, because we are determined to work with all South Africans to advance our vision and to undertake a program of transformation. We will do so as we seek to consolidate the various compacts. And we've been involved in a process where we've had quite a number of sectoral compacts, both at NEDLAC and elsewhere. The Gender-Based Violence and Femicide Summit also presents itself as a compact. When we met social organizations, they also came up with a compact, and a number of other areas we are building compacts. Obviously, we want this to culminate in a more comprehensive compact, and all these are building blocks to be part of that comprehensive compact. And we would therefore like you as business people to join us to build this cohesion, this compact. And this is the year when we would like to see all of us working together, not pulling asunder. The African National Congress has put in place clear policies, a clear vision, but the glue that will keep all this together is our total commitment to the renewal process, because it is through this renewal that the ANC becomes much more effective. It is through this renewal and unity that we are able to bring the various forces to be part of this movement going forward. So we are pleased that your presence here is a clear indication of your interest, not only in the work of the ANC, but also in the direction that our country will be taking into the future. It is a fitting tribute to the intent of the founders of our movement more than a century ago to forge a broad struggle for the achievement of freedom and equality. We are grateful to all of you that you are present here this evening, and to all members as well as supporters of the PBF, the Patriotic Business Forum, and for your continuing support and your commitment not only to the ANC, but to the people of our country. It is through your support that we will be able to build this country and make it a successful country. The ANC is irrevocably committed to that. Join us as we go on with this process. Thank you very much.
Kamara mapoza itesha.
as we used to say.
Amandla!
Away to
Long live President Ramaphosa, long live!
long live.
Over to you, Comrade Sonia.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. President advised us to pause, so we shall pause.
We are pausing. And it's the chairperson who taught us to pause. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may be seated. We will be serving dinner shortly before we have the vote of thanks.
We'll just pause for a few minutes. Pause like for a minute.
Premier is asking for us to do the vote of thanks while we are having dinner because she doesn't want the interruptions. What do you think?
So at the end of the musical item, before the musical item?
No. I think we should have a musical item.
I agree with you.
All
I
right.
agree with you. So we will transition and then when we introduce the musical item, we'll be prepared to come up. Okay, comrades.
Comrades, the program is almost concluded, comrades. Comrades, ladies and gentlemen, the program is almost concluded. Sonia? We want to conclude this program, comrades. We want to serve you dinner and a dessert. Some of you have not had starters. Can we please have a seat? I'm going to ask for all service to be suspended again and doors closed.
Yeah, the waiters need to. So, you know what? We want to be disciplined, comrades.
ANC convener of Free State Province, Kialeboa, please provide her with a round of applause. Thank you.
Hi, Boki Galadina today. I am not going to say anything. We can't be doing this when the president is here. This is not right. The president is still with us. The deputy president is here. The chairperson is here. Please, can we behave? The president of the country, Ntate Cyril Ramaphosa, the deputy president of the African National Congress, Ntate Paul. Let me just say, it's protocol observed. President Ntate Ramaphosa, what else do you want? What else do you want to see? Free State people have welcomed you, and your whole executive, they have indeed welcomed you. Mini rallies were peaceful, well attended, well organized. Doesn't mean they don't have challenges, but they decided that you are their president. They're going to put their challenges aside and make sure that you must feel that Free State is also your home. President, the hope that our people showed to you, it is just amazing. The people of the Free State and the people of the whole country, they are still having hope in African National Congress. It is up to us. And I'm sure all of us are going to rally behind the president and make sure that we're going to make things easy for the president, for us to have a very united ANC, because the divided ANC, it is not going to be easy to empower its youth. It is not going to be easy to save its youth from the drugs. It is not going to be easy to protect its women from gender-based violence. But the united ANC, it will be etsa kaofela, o tswa mabitleng a bona. The golf was highly successful. Even the owner of the club said it. Hore ANC, ke a inehela, you have renewed the relationship between us, le lona. I don't know what to say. President Galadina, Gigi, tickets were oversold, oversubscribed. What an amazing gala dinner. In fact, I nearly cried. When I was there, TG, with your team, what was happening. But because ANC na le modimo, bona ho etsahetse. Just want to thank the business people. You have no idea what you have done. But thank you very much for supporting your own organization. Thank you very much for being there when everybody thought you are not going to be there. Thank you very much for building the African National Congress. And you must never give up. Indeed, the ANC cannot die in our hands. We might be having our own differences, but time is against us. We must now try to close those differences. 18 months left, we are going for the election, and the ANC must win the elections. President Ramaphosa, the people of the Free State, I am telling you, they are happy that we are back. And not only the people of the Free State, but to South Africa, but Tabile, Uhutlile. And that means you are in the right direction. Lilala, utswele pili. Batho haba no tloela ho bua. Ba ga tswela pili and make sure that our people, they get the better life that the African National Congress promised them. Ria leboha ntate waka. Hoza 2024, hoza. Hoza 2024, hoza. And I'm telling you now, tomorrow, in that rally, ho tlo shiwa, ho sontso tletse, re a leboha, good night, ha re jeng ho be monate, and just wait for tomorrow. Halala, ANC, halala.
It's amazing grace. I've made it this far by the grace of God. Lord, I thank you for how you brought me how you brought me through the night. Lord, you kept me, and you never left me. You stood by my side. There were so many times when I came so close. Oh man, death.
TG, you had a meeting with all the treasurers of the province this morning, and you still remember. Pet, is that thing here now? Itata kapa itata lidi. Where is that thing? Huh? It's coming. Okay, you can just continue. Basali ba chamona basibilu jaiva sharper when. How did you make it till so far?
I made it this far. Yes, I did. By the grace of God.
And that's the energy we bring to birthday celebrations, comrades.